Welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the value of specific coins, the top 5 most valuable Washington silver quarter dollar. So let's get started. First up, the 1980 D Washington quarter. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint in 1980, and it represents a piece of everyday American history that passed through countless hands in commerce and now finds itself in collections around the world. On the surface, it may look like just another quarter from the late 20th century, but there is more to understand about its story, its place in the Washington Quarter Series, and what it is worth today. The Washington Quarter Series was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse and a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. For decades, this design was used with only minor changes and became one of the most familiar coins in the United States. In 1965, the composition of the quarter changed from 90% silver to a copper-nickel clad due to rising silver prices, and since then quarters have carried only a small amount of metal value based on the base metals they contain. By the time we reach 1980, silver had long been absent from circulating quarters, and the coins were intended purely for everyday transactions rather than precious metal investment. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters, making the 1980 D Washington one of the more common dates in the series. Millions of these coins entered circulation, and most were used for everyday purchases over many years. That extensive circulation is the reason why today, most 1980 D Washington quarters are found in worn and dirty condition rather than pristine states. In numismatic terms, the condition of a coin is critically important for determining its market value, and that is the key to understanding what a typical 1980 D Washington quarter is worth today. When a coin leaves the mint, it has sharp details, strong relief, and clear surfaces. In circulation, those details gradually wear away from handling, being spent, being exchanged, and being carried in pockets, wallets, and coin jars. Over time, the fine lines on Washington's hair become smooth, the feathers on the eagle's wings lose definition, and the fields of the coin take on scratches, nicks, and a layer of grime. That worn appearance is what collectors call circulated condition, and when the coin is also visibly dirty, it usually reflects many years of use without any cleaning or preservation. For a 1980 D Washington quarter in this normal, dirty, circulated condition, the realistic market value today generally stays very close to its face value, which is $25 or 1 quarter. In coin collecting, the market for common dates in low grades is dominated by supply and demand. There are so many of these coins in worn, circulated condition that collectors do not pay a premium for them. In most cases, these coins are traded at or near their face value. Many price guides and auction results show that a typical 1980 D Washington quarter with obvious wear and dirt sells for around 25 cents to $1, depending on how worn it is and how collectors describe the condition. If a coin shows only moderate wear with some details still visible, it might attract a slightly higher interest from collectors who want a nicer example for a basic circulated set. In those situations, you might see values in the range of 75 cents to $1, or slightly more for a piece that is just a bit above average in condition. But for the vast majority of 1980 D Washington quarters that are heavily worn and visibly dirty, the market does not assign a significant premium over the face value. These coins are common, abundant, and widely available, which keeps their price low in the broader marketplace. It's important to understand that in today's collecting environment, the value of a coin is tied primarily to 3 factors: scarcity, condition, and collector demand. Common coins with high mintages and worn conditions generally stay at or near face value, unless there is something unusual about them. That unusual factor could be a striking error, an attractive toning, or an unexpectedly high state of preservation. But in normal, dirty, circulated condition, none of those special factors are present, and that's why the value stays modest. Collectors and dealers use grading standards to describe a coin's condition, and those standards range from poor and fair to fine, very fine, extremely fine, about uncirculated, and uncirculated grades. In the case of the 1980 D Washington quarter, a coin that would be graded at the lowest levels with heavy wear and dirt will almost always be valued at face or just above face because it lacks the crisp details that higher graded coins show. The market for higher-grade versions of this coin does exist, and coins that are uncirculated and well-preserved have sold for significantly more in the marketplace, but those are not the coins we're talking about here. Instead, we're focused on the everyday circulating pieces that most people find in pocket change. Another reason to understand the modest value of a dirty, circulated 1980D Washington quarter is the fact that modern quarters have been minted in such large quantities for so many years. The United States Mint produced these coins primarily for change and commerce, and not for collectors. The result is an enormous population of these coins in every grade and condition. That abundance reduces scarcity and keeps prices low for the common worn examples. You might wonder if cleaning your coin would improve its value. In general, cleaning a coin is discouraged in the numismatic community because it can damage the surface and reduce collector appeal. Even if you remove dirt and grime, the underlying wear remains, and the coin may suffer scratches or loss of original surface that collectors prize. The best practice is to leave the coin as found and evaluate it honestly based on its current state rather than trying to alter its appearance. It's also worth noting that special varieties and errors exist in many coin series, and sometimes those varieties can make a common date more valuable. But for the 1980D Washington quarter in normal, dirty, circulated condition, there are no widely recognized major errors that drive value significantly higher in the regular market. Without a known error or exceptional quality, this coin remains a modestly valued piece in today's marketplace. So when we ask what a 1980D Washington quarter in normal, dirty, circulated condition is worth in today's dollars, the answer is straightforward and grounded in market reality. It's most often worth about 25 cents up to maybe $1 for a slightly above-average worn example. Serious collectors understand that common, circulated coins from mass production years carry little premium, and that the true value in coin collecting often comes from condition rarities, historical context, and personal enjoyment rather than substantial monetary gain. Holding a 1980D Washington quarter connects us to everyday life from 40 years ago. It reminds us of how coins circulate, how they wear, and how they become part of the fabric of daily commerce. Even though its monetary value in worn condition is modest, this coin still has a story to tell about design history, minting practices, circulation patterns, and the nature of collecting itself. Understanding that story and knowing how value is determined will help you make better decisions as you explore the fascinating world of coin collecting and evaluate other coins you encounter on your journey in numismatics. Next up, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark in a damaged condition. This coin carries both historical significance and collector interest, even when it shows visible wear and damage. The Washington quarter series has been one of the most widely circulated and collected coins in American history, and the 1966 issue is particularly interesting because it is part of the last years before the U.S. Mint completely switched from using silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition for quarters produced for general circulation. The 1966 Washington quarter, unlike earlier issues before 1965, which contained 90% silver, is primarily composed of a copper-nickel clad. The absence of a mint mark indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a detail that collectors pay close attention to when determining rarity and value. When examining a 1966 Washington quarter in damaged condition, collectors notice that damage can include scratches, nicks, corrosion, discoloration, and other forms of post-mint wear. Even though these imperfections lower the overall grade, they do not entirely eliminate the coin's value. In fact, coins from this year still hold intrinsic value due to their silver content as well as historical interest. Despite the damage, the quarter still contains a percentage of silver, which gives it a baseline value in the precious metals market. This coin is also a window into mid-20th century American coinage and circulation patterns, and for collectors, it represents a piece of everyday history. The design of the 1966 Washington quarter is consistent with the series introduced in 1932. George Washington's profile remains on the obverse with the inscription of Liberty above and In God We Trust to the left. The reverse features the iconic bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with two olive branches below, and the inscription United States of America and quarter dollar surrounding the eagle. This design has been admired for decades for its elegance, simplicity, and clear symbolism of American values. Even damaged specimens retain these design features, though the finer details may be worn down or obscured by scratches and other forms of damage. In terms of collector interest, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark in damaged condition is sought after primarily by those who focus on completing sets or acquiring examples of each year of the series. While high-grade, uncirculated examples command higher prices, damaged coins are more affordable, yet still collectible due to the coin's silver content and the historical significance within the series. Some collectors specialize in coins that show circulation wear or environmental effects because they tell a story about the coin's journey through time and commerce. When evaluating the market value today, a 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark in damaged condition typically ranges depending on the severity of the damage and the demand among collectors. Generally, the value is determined by a combination of the silver content, which provides a minimum intrinsic value, and the numismatic value, which can fluctuate based on collector interest. A damaged quarter from this year usually has a market value ranging from approximately $5 to $10 for typical examples. This represents a modest premium over melt value due to collector interest, yet it is accessible for new collectors looking to start or expand their Washington quarter collection. Coins with extreme damage or unusual post-mint marks may sell for slightly more to specialized buyers who appreciate the story behind the imperfections. Collectors interested in acquiring a 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark in damaged condition should focus on careful examination of the coin's features, paying attention to the remaining detail on the eagle, the clarity of George Washington's portrait, and the legibility of inscriptions. Even damaged coins can provide valuable insight into the wear patterns of circulating coinage and the conditions of mid-20th century American commerce. Additionally, coins like this can serve as an entry point for new collectors to understand the interplay between silver content and numismatic value as they learn to assess the quality and rarity of various issues. In conclusion, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark in damaged condition is a fascinating coin that blends historical significance, silver content, and collector interest. Even though the coin shows visible damage, it remains a collectible and valuable piece of American history. Its value in today's market typically ranges from $5 to $10, offering a combination of intrinsic silver value and numismatic interest. This coin represents not just a monetary unit, but a tangible connection to the past, a reminder of the mid-20th century economy and the enduring appeal of Washington quarter design for collectors and enthusiasts alike. Owning a coin like this allows collectors to hold in their hands a piece of history and to appreciate the journey each coin has taken through time. Next up, the 1978 Washington quarter dollar that does not have a mint mark, and what this coin is really worth in the current market when it has experienced significant damage or post-mint wear. The Washington quarter design began in 1932 and has continued for many decades with subtle changes and millions of coins struck each year. The 1978 issue is one of the most commonly circulated years because hundreds of millions of these coins were put into everyday use. The example without a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia facility, and it was one of the most widely produced coins of that year, with an original mintage in the hundreds of millions. When we look at the value of a standard 1978 quarter without special features or errors, most circulated examples simply trade for their face value or slightly above, as they are abundant and easy to find in pocket change or coin rules. In general, worn coins with heavy circulation wear only command around 25 cents to a few dollars at best, depending on condition and market interest. Now let us focus on the key part of what makes the coin you are asking about different and potentially interesting to collectors. You mentioned the coin is in damaged condition. If we interpret that phrase to mean that the coin has damage from after it left the mint, like scratches, dents, spots, gouges, marks from circulation and handling, then this is what numismatists call post-mint damage. Post-mint damage is not something created by the striking process, but rather something that happens later when the coin is used, dropped, scratched, or otherwise harmed after it left the mint. True errors that occurred during minting, like die cracks, off-center strikes, or planchet errors, can add value because they're part of the coin's history and were caused during production. But damage from post-mint events, like a deep gouge, contact marks, corrosion, dents, or holes, generally detracts from the value rather than adding to it. Serious damage often means the coin is worth only face value or even less to coin collectors because it no longer has collectible condition or originality.
The reason for this is that collectors and investors place value on how intact and original a coin's surfaces are, and when the coin has been marred after it left the mint, that value is compromised. In fact, many collectors specifically avoid coins with noticeable post-mint damage because those imperfections interfere with the aesthetic and historical appeal that they seek. When we talk about coins that are truly rare or valuable, we focus on uncirculated coins in high grades, or coins with recognized mint errors. For the 1978 Washington quarter without a mint mark, uncirculated examples that are graded at professional standards like MS-63, MS-65, or higher can sometimes sell for prices that greatly exceed face value. In rare, documented cases, very high-grade coins without marks have sold at auction for values in the low thousands of dollars when they were nearly perfect and struck sharply at the mint. However, the key phrase here is nearly perfect. Those high values are driven by condition, surface quality, sharp details, and collector demand for pristine examples. Now compare that to the kind of coin you described with damage on its surfaces and a damage dot condition. In this situation, the damage is likely reducing the coin's collectible appeal. Post-mint damage does not fit the criteria for a recognized mint error that could drive value higher. Instead, it typically places the coin into the category of worn or impaired pieces that most collectors would not pay premiums for. A deeply scratched or dented 1978 Philadelphia Washington quarter with no mint mark, in most cases, will only be worth around its face value of 25 cents in ordinary circulation. In some rare circumstances, a heavily damaged coin might be traded to someone who collects odd or unusual examples, but even in these cases, the selling price is still usually only a few dollars at most. Without a recognized mint error or exceptionally high-grade surface condition, a 1978 Philadelphia Washington quarter with damage is not something that will command high prices. It is also worth noting that many discussions among coin collectors emphasize that seeing damage or irregularities on a coin does not automatically make it a valuable error piece. For example, collectors familiar with these coins often point out that scratches, deep marks, or large gouges are common results of wear, circulation, and mishandling, and do not represent something that happened inside the mint. When this happens, experienced collectors consider the coin to be worth only what the metal and rarity support. For a common date like 1978 with enormous original mintage numbers, that means despite damage making the coin physically distinct, it does not make it rare in the numismatic sense. If you do believe that your damaged coin has something more than just wear and post-mint marks, such as an unusual die crack, misalignment, or struck error from the minting process, then the next step for you might be to get a professional evaluation from a coin grader or numismatist who can inspect it in person. Professional grading organizations assign condition grades and identify true mint errors, and they can tell you if what looks like damage is in fact something collectible. In the absence of that, however, a heavily damaged 1978 Washington quarter with no mint mark typically remains worth only its face value, or slightly above, commonly under $1 for most worn examples that are not high-grade or true error coins. In summary, when we talk about value in today's market for a 1978 Washington quarter without a mint mark that is in damaged condition, the realistic range for most such coins is around the quarter's face value, up to a small premium of a few dollars at best. These coins were produced in huge quantities and are still readily available, so only examples that have very special mint-related characteristics or exceptional uncirculated condition show meaningful value above that range. Anything that is clearly the result of post-mint damage usually places the coin at or near face value in the eyes of most collectors and dealers.
Next up, the 1998 Washington quarter with a Denver mint mark is often overlooked because it is not widely considered rare. However, even coins that seem common can have stories to tell, and they have a place in today's coin collecting market. In this video, we will explore the 1998 D Washington quarter in detail, discussing its production, historical context, the meaning of its dark or black color shade, and its current market value in US dollars. By the end of this discussion, you will understand what makes this coin appealing to collectors and how its condition influences its worth.
The Washington Quarter series was introduced in 1932 as a tribute to George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1998, the series had been in production for more than 65 years, maintaining its classic design featuring Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. The 1998 D coin holds particular significance because it was among the last of the regular issue quarters produced before the state quarters program began in 1999. This Denver Mint coin is identified by a small D mint mark located just below the wreath on the reverse side, signaling that it was struck at the Denver facility. The Denver Mint produced millions of quarters that year, ensuring that most 1998 D quarters entered general circulation and were used in everyday commerce. The composition of this quarter is copper-nickel clad, meaning it has a core of pure copper sandwiched between outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy. Its diameter is just over 24 millimeters, and it weighs approximately 5.67 grams. This design and composition were standard for circulating quarters of this era. The 1998 D quarter had an exceptionally high mintage, with over 800 million coins produced, making it a common piece for anyone handling coins from this period. Despite its high mintage, certain characteristics and conditions can make individual coins of interest to collectors. One of the most notable features in some 1998 D quarters is their black or darkened color shade. Coins can develop dark toning or a black patina over time due to natural environmental factors. Exposure to moisture, certain types of storage materials, contact with chemicals, or even long-term circulation can cause this toning to appear. In some cases, coins that are buried or improperly stored may acquire a nearly black appearance. While this coloration is visually striking and may attract collectors who appreciate unique appearances, it is important to understand that dark toning does not automatically make a common coin rare or highly valuable. Coins are typically evaluated based on their overall eye appeal, surface quality, and condition, with uniform luster and sharp details generally being more desirable. For the average circulated 1998 D Washington quarter, its value remains very close to face value. In worn condition with noticeable circulation marks, minor scratches, and loss of luster, these coins are often valued between 25 cents and 85 cents. The exact value depends on how much wear the coin has sustained and the demand among collectors at the time. Even with a blackened appearance, if the coin shows significant wear or surface damage, its market value may not increase substantially beyond its normal circulation value. However, coins that are uncirculated or in high-grade condition can command modest premiums. An uncirculated 1998 D Washington quarter with sharp details and pleasing surfaces may sell for $1 to $2. In rare cases, coins graded at high mint state levels, such as MS-66, can reach approximately $100 in the market. Extremely high-grade coins, for example MS-67, may reach values higher, sometimes reaching several $100s. These exceptional examples are rare and represent only a small fraction of the total mintage. They are the coins that attract collectors seeking pristine examples, rather than coins that simply have unique coloration. Errors and varieties can also affect a coin's value. In the 1998 D Washington Quarter series, there are examples of die errors, off-center strikes, and doubled dies that are sought after by collectors. These types of coins are rare and require verification to confirm authenticity. A 1998 D Washington Quarter with a genuine mint error or unusual die characteristic can sell for much higher than a standard coin, particularly if it is in good condition. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for verified error coins because they are limited and provide a unique addition to a collection. It is important for anyone handling a 1998 D Washington Quarter to carefully assess its condition. Coins should be examined for surface wear, scratches, luster, and toning. While a blackened or dark shade may be visually appealing, it is not the sole determinant of value. Coins that retain their original mint luster, sharp strike details, and minimal wear are generally more valuable than those that are heavily toned or damaged, even if the darker toning gives them a unique appearance. For collectors, both the condition and the aesthetic appeal of the coin play a crucial role in determining its market value. For the modern coin collector, the 1998 D Washington quarter serves as an accessible example of American currency at the end of the 20th century. It represents a moment in time before the state quarters program introduced new designs and widespread collecting interest. While most examples of this coin are not rare, they provide an opportunity for collectors to study toning, circulation wear, and high-grade preservation. Collectors who enjoy observing how coins age and acquire character over time may find dark-shaded coins particularly interesting, even if their market value remains modest. To summarize, the 1998 D Washington quarter in black or dark shade condition generally has a value close to or slightly above face value when circulated. Uncirculated coins may fetch a small premium, and high-grade mint state examples can reach $100 or more. Rare error coins and special varieties may achieve higher values, depending on their authenticity and collector demand. Despite being a common coin in terms of mintage, the 1998 D quarter is a valuable tool for understanding coin condition, toning, and market trends. Collectors and enthusiasts alike can enjoy examining these coins, understanding their characteristics, and exploring the factors that affect their value in today's market. This coin may not be among the most expensive or sought after, but it is an important reminder that even common coins have stories to tell and can be appreciated for their history, condition, and the role they play in the larger world of numismatics. Collectors and enthusiasts alike can enjoy examining these coins, understanding their characteristics, and exploring the factors that affect their value in today's market.
Next up, the 1970 Washington quarter with the D mint mark in good condition. This coin is not only a piece of American history, but also a fascinating example of how small differences in minting can have a significant impact on value. The 1970 Washington quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 and was originally issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design features George Washington on the obverse side, created by John Flanagan, and on the reverse side, an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows above an olive branch, which represents peace. The 1970 D quarter is minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark located on the obverse side near the lower part of the neck of George Washington. The coin is composed of 40% silver and 60% copper, which gives it a noticeable weight and a distinct color compared to later clad quarters minted after 1965, when silver content was removed. This silver composition is one of the reasons collectors are particularly interested in this coin, as silver content not only adds intrinsic value, but also historical significance. Mintage for the 1970 D Washington quarter was substantial, with over 70 million coins produced. However, despite this relatively high mintage, the condition of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved over the decades in what is considered good condition, meaning the coin shows minimal wear with all major design details still visible, are far more sought after by collectors compared to circulated coins with heavy wear or damage. Collectors pay attention to details such as the clarity of Washington's hairlines, the lettering on the obverse, and the feather details on the eagle on the reverse. Even slight fading of these details can affect the overall value of the coin. Errors and varieties are also something collectors watch for in this coin series. While the 1970 D does not have widely known major mint errors, the possibility of minor die cracks or planchet imperfections can make a specific coin unique and sometimes more valuable than the standard issue. Even without these errors, the silver content and historical context make the 1970 D Washington quarter an attractive piece for both novice and experienced collectors. The market value of a 1970 D Washington quarter in good condition varies based on silver prices and demand among collectors. Typically, a coin in good condition can fetch anywhere from $10 to $50 in today's market. However, coins in very fine or uncirculated condition can be worth significantly more, with some rare examples exceeding $100 or more, depending on the grading service and specific market conditions. This makes collecting silver quarters from the 1965 to 1970 era a practical way to invest in both numismatic and intrinsic metal value. When considering the investment potential of the 1970 D Washington quarter, it is important to examine the coin's physical condition and provenance. Coins that have been stored properly away from moisture, extreme temperatures, and handling will maintain their luster and details far better than those kept in wallets or loose change. This careful preservation can be the difference between owning a standard collectible and a highly desirable coin that commands a premium in the marketplace.
Collectors are also drawn to the 1970 D Washington quarter because it represents a transitional period in United States coinage. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was moving from circulating silver coinage to predominantly copper-nickel-clad coins. The 1970 D quarter with silver content serves as a reminder of the era when silver coins were still a part of everyday American transactions and provides historical context for understanding how coinage evolved over time. For those looking to purchase or sell this coin, it is essential to consider certified grading from recognized numismatic organizations, as this can authenticate the coin's condition and provenance. Making sure the coin is genuine and not cleaned or altered is crucial, as any improper cleaning can significantly reduce its value. Even subtle polishing or chemical treatment can remove the original silver patina and lower collector interest. Overall, the 1970 D Washington quarter in good condition remains a sought-after coin for collectors due to its silver composition, historical significance, and the relative scarcity of well-preserved examples. While the face value is 25 cents, the true market value reflects its collectible appeal and intrinsic metal content, making it a valuable addition to any coin collection or investment portfolio. Whether you are a beginner looking to start collecting silver quarters or an experienced numismatist seeking to complete your Washington quarter series, this coin represents both history and value in a small, elegant form. In summary, the 1970 D Washington quarter with its D mint mark is an important collectible due to its silver content and place in American coin history. The combination of design features, mintage numbers, historical context, and collector interest contribute to its value in today's market. Coins in good condition can be purchased or sold in a range from $10 to $50, with higher grades fetching more depending on collector demand and current silver prices. This coin is more than just currency. It is a tangible connection to the past and a piece of numismatic art that continues to attract attention and admiration from collectors around the world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you next time. Happy collecting!